Bonjour, bonsoir from the Egg, all the way in Yonville, Napa Valley for this amazing in-person happy hour. She drove all the way from the border. She's absolutely irresistible. She has a voice which is going to make you vibrate. She's magnetic. She's multilingual. She only sings in 14 languages. She's been Grammy nominated many times. She won a lot of awards, including Peace. She is Lebanese Mexican. This is a gorgeous blend. This is about the unity of the world, the Middle East, and the Hispanic community. She speaks French impeccably, sings in French. She started as an entrepreneur a new concept as well, named the Pop-Up Supper Club. Very cool. And she performs. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited, and I know she's going to grab the cork right, most likely, in her mouth, because she's a singer and she has the power of the chords. Un, deux, trois. Woo-hoo-hoo! Almost. She got it. Sacha, bonjour.
Bonjour, Jean-CLaude. Bonjour, ça va?
Magnifique.
Bonjour, mon ami.
Comment ça va?
Ça va très, très
You
bien.
are magnificent.
I have
And
the
you
cork.
cocked the cork.
I got the cork.
So, Sacha, what a voice. How old were you when you discovered you had such a natural talent?
I don't think I was very little. I think I was older.
Uh-huh.
I sang in church all my life. It never occurred to me. It was my grandfather, my father,
Wow.
and my family that said, "Oh, you can sing."
So, here it is. And you did. And the voice of God had an influence on you, of course.
Yes, of course.
So, what is your most favorite song, as we toasting in the eyes, of course, and we're going to have a toast.
Santé.
To you,
To you.
to your Franco-American, Mexican, Lebanese, phenomenal DNA. I feel your entrance was magnificent, but you got to show to our friends another of those beautiful skills that you have.
Another of those beautiful skills.
I want to vibrate of excitement.
You want to vibrate
I
them.
want the egg to crack and all the feathers to fly.
Well, what do you think is a song pertinent to the times right now?
Whichever one you would come up with.
So every day during this pandemic, I keep counting my blessings.
Yes.
Because there's so much that we have to be blessed.
Very true.
So many things to acknowledge, our families.
Yes.
And it's a difficult time for everyone. So I kind of want to remind everyone that we live in a wonderful world.
That's right.
And every day, even though we have tragedy and suffering, it still is a wonderful world.
So are you going to sing It Is a Wonderful World?
Why not?
Well, so today we want you to sing in 4 languages.
Okay.
We're going to have French, because when Sacha and I met, she performed and everybody was so excited. We danced, all of us, for hours under your voice, and then we all started to sing around the piano as you were playing it. So that was a magnificent, magnetic moment.
That was beautiful.
So you could do it in Lebanese, you could do it in Spanish, French, and English.
Yes.
So you choose.
Okay, well, I think in English first.
Let's do English.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Bravo! Dear friends, wasn't it a wonderful way to start this amazing time together? So Sacha, give us a little bit of a hint of your education as such a multicultural background. What an amazing symbol of the 21st century, unity, brings so many cultures together as a child and then as an adolescent.
So I'm Mexican and I'm French Lebanese. My father's from Beirut, and my family lived in between Beirut and Paris.
Yes.
And my mother grew up in San Diego, Mexican though. Grandparents are Mexican on that side, and so I consider myself a tabulitaco.
A tabulitaco.
Yes.
Ooh.
But I'm American.
Mm-hmm.
So with a lot of culture and heritage, and so I went to school in the United States. I studied business and marketing at University of San Diego. And I wanted to do music, and my parents said, sure, when you're done with college, thinking I would just brush it off.
Yes.
I studied, but aside from going to school.
And you knew you wanted to do music.
I knew I wanted to do music, I think, coming out of playing sports in college.
Yeah, because from what I understand, you were pro in soccer and tennis.
I played soccer and tennis every single day for 6 to 8 hours a day. Got a scholarship.
It's amazing.
In college. That's all I did. I eat and breathe sports.
So from the physical talent to the emotional voice, you were born with that.
I was born with that. It was a great gift from God.
So as a young child, how did your parents, or how did you succeed to convince them that singing was eventually that important? Because I have young ladies, and I love the idea that they go fully into singing. Why not?
Well, my dad was not very gung-ho about it. He was doctor, lawyer, engineer, study,
Yes.
strong woman, go into these fields. My mother, the same, but never discouraged me from any dream or passion that I had. She cultivated all of them. So
Yeah.
even when I said I want to dance flamenco, which I did for 8 years, my mother was like, absolutely. And my father was all about studies and did believe that whatever I wanted to accomplish, I could, but studies first.
Uh-huh.
And so it was really hard convincing my father that I was in the entertainment business, where he didn't really want me to go in because there's a lot of
Uncertainty.
people that he thought lacked integrity, and he had raised me, with a lot of values and morals, and said, I don't really want you to go that way. But I didn't really understand what he was talking about until I was in the middle of it, in the middle of my career, saying, oh, that's what you meant.
I see.
But my mother said, anything I wanted, as long as I had those degrees, then you can go for singing. So I did. The moment I had my degree, well, guess what, guys? I'm going to be a singer. And my father, it's just, I'm going to be an entertainer. I'm going to go singing everywhere. I'm going to my dad just heard, she's hanging out in nightclubs in the middle of the night. Like, oh my God, that's...
A typical Lebanese protective father, right? As you should.
Yeah, like, brother, here she goes,
And then, so how did it start? Because it's not easy to start in the singing, in the jazz world or singing world. So how did you do it?
Well, basically, I walked into a jazz club in San Diego that had 7 nights a week acts, and I walked in and I said, hello, and the gentleman says, ciao, how are you? He was from Sicily, and I said, I'm a singer from New York, and he said, you're from New York? And he looks me up and down, and I said, yeah, I want a gig here, I want to sing, I have a band. And he said, you got a band? I said, yeah. Are you good? And I said, I'm great, what are you talking about? And I never sang a gig in my life.
That's amazing.
I hadn't sang a gig in my life. I went to pick up a sandwich while I was on a school break, in between working a stage that I had, in Point Loma in San Diego. And I don't know what occurred to me to tell him I was a professional singer.
Well, you wanted to challenge the Italian, because the Italian is always the challenge by the woman, right?
Yes, so he looked me up and down, and he said, well, if you sing as good as you look, you got the job. I put my hand out, and I negotiated a contract with him.
That's amazing.
To sing every other week. And I went to my dad and I said, Dad, I got a job singing. And he goes, call him back and tell him I can't do it on that day. And my dad made me change the day because he wanted to be there. So I had to change the day, which the guy thought was endearing, that my family wanted to come. And I packed the club and didn't know what I was doing, hired a pianist, I had a week to prepared, had a gig, invited every friend I had. So all of my tennis and soccer buddies showed up, all of my family. The place was bursting from the rafters, and they didn't know what to do. Nobody got their food on time. Nobody got their drinks on time. Everybody was complaining, but they were all there.
But they got the sound of music.
They got the sound. So it was great.
So was it a big success?
It was a great success. I got offered every week after that. I started playing.
So the Italian went on his knee and he said, Dimmi, dimmi tutti, viene, viene.
The Italian had to hire a second staff when I would come in because there were so many people. But it was great because it was the first thing I ever did, and the second gig I ever had, I played with a pianist named Mike Wofford, who lives in San Diego, who's a legend, who played with Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan. So that was a great accomplishment. And it was just gig 2.
Wow.
So.
And that was the launch.
That was the launch
of the career.
That was the
and
launch.
from there on, where did you take it?
I took it all around the world slowly. I did an album. I wrote a lot of music. It got on several Grammy ballots, and then I just kept going as much as I could independently at a time when the market was not really available to independent producers. Now it is. It was not back then.
That's right.
It was closed.
When you say back then, how many years ago?
Oh my God, that sounds. I don't want to date myself. Before
Just a few
internet
months
music.
ago.
Before internet music, and it was really almost impossible for you to stick an album out and get heard and get on radio and get all those things happening, because it was like, are you on Sony? Are you on Universal? Are you on Concord? What are you? Which label are you on?
Yes.
I'm on my own.
Yeah.
What's your label? Diva Latina Productions. What?
Diva Latino. Woof, there's a great sound.
I did that because the boys used to say, like,
you're the diva.
They would call me the diva in a very not nice way. So I got these pink business checks that were like this big, and it said Diva Latina on it. And I said, well, just remember who pays you. When they would call me the diva.
I love this.
And they didn't call me the diva anymore.
This is great.
Yeah, I changed that now. It's Hear Me Roar.
So, so raised in that phenomenal cultural dynamics. So how was that childhood in terms of cultural influence, and which led you to be who you are today?
I think it was amazing and confusing living in America, growing up in California.
Yes.
Where I'd come home and ask why I didn't have yellow hair and white skin, because I was like so looking different than the rest of the kids. And somebody said to me, you have a permanent suntan, when I was a little kid. And I went home crying. And also, like, my name was Sacha, and everybody else's name was like, you know, Sarah or Kelly or whatever. And
yes,
I was different. Now, different is everywhere.
But did you feel that difference at the time?
Oh, so much.
And was it difficult for you, obviously?
Really difficult. Now I'm so grateful for those differences.
Yes.
So grateful.
What about the Middle Eastern influence? Because this is so unique. I mean, as a Frenchman, we know the Lebanese so closely, as you know, but there's not as many Lebanese, obviously, in California, and we're far away. So how was that influence for you as a young lady?
I didn't tell people I was Lebanese. I had I felt not good about that. And I'd just say I was American.
I see.
Because sometimes people weren't very kind to me, and they constantly were asking, where are you really from? And that was bothering me all the time. And I thought, what does it matter where I'm from? I'm a human being. Where are you from? I'm human. Well, you don't look, you know, I'm a human being. I'm a person just like you.
Yeah.
What does it matter? What you know? Because when they ask in that unkind way, I don't really think they need to know where I come from.
And do you feel today, if we forward a few years, do you feel it's very different now? You said we acknowledge differences. You feel now we've reached a level where diversity is good?
I think so. I think it could be improved yet still.
Yes.
But I believe that at least I can say in San Diego it's night and day difference from when I was a kid.
Really? And how, as an example?
Well, there's so many Mexican people everywhere. And before there were like this little bit of Mexicans, and now it's like half.
Yes.
And it feels like the border town, that Mexico has come across the border, really. It's gone back to being Mexico. Mm-hmm. And that's how that feels in Southern California.
I see.
It's, you know.
When you dream, what language do you dream in?
I dream in English, sometimes in Spanish, and actually, lately, I had some dreams in French.
Ooh la la.
Yeah.
Are the French dream a little more romantic, and the Spanish maybe more creative, or vice versa?
Maybe. I think the French dreams are dreaming of my life in Paris, of what's to come after the pandemic.
Because you live there part-time.
I lived there. I was living there full-time, actually.
So tell us about this we'll go back to singing, and you're going to have to, again, give us an example of this gorgeous voice, this really profound voice. Tell us about the supper club and the business you've created, because this is pretty fascinating.
So in
To me.
1947, there was a place in San Diego where they used to have, it used to be the landmark to go to for everyone in Southern California. Even on the East Coast, they would come down, they'd go to the races in Del Mar, and they would go to the Lafayette Hotel. And I saw all these pictures of palm trees and Benny Goodman and Frank Sinatra and Ava Gardner and these parties and this beautiful time of the Cafe Society that was America. That
That's
I thought
right.
was very elegant, and there were intellectuals and different people, and it looked so much fun. And I decided to recreate the 1947 club in the same club.
I love it. In the Lafayette Hotel.
In the Lafayette Hotel. I even
Well, and
rented
what a name,
palm trees.
Lafayette.
Yeah.
Ooh la la. And you rented palm trees
Yes.
to get it started?
So that the palm trees look like the pictures of the Kentia palms
Yes.
from the 1940s.
Very cool.
And so, yeah, and I got a very small big band. I would have loved an orchestra. We got a big band on stage and big band boxes, you know, and
Yes.
and everyone said it wouldn't work because San Diego wouldn't dress up. San Diego wouldn't pay
Yeah,
for that.
I was curious because there's a dress code.
Yes.
Is it tuxedo?
It's tux, it's tails or tux, and men had to dress. You had to have shoes. You
So
know?
coming from the beach and those, you know, little shoes like people wear on the beach.
No way,
and
no
back
entrance.
to the,
I don't care if you bought a ticket. You're not coming in. And,
I love it to establish, you know, back to the 20s, 30s, 40s. This is very cool.
to establish that gentlemen and ladies and that respect. And
Don't you think the last year we've lived is going to help us to go back to this?
I think it's going to help humans to
How?
be kind again to each other. At least I witnessed in Paris where that, you know, kind of snippy arrogance that is what is Paris.
That's right.
And
Oh, please get rid of it.
people starting to be nice and people saying hello to each other, whereas like
Really?
you say hi to a Parisian and they're like,
Yeah. Who are you?
do I know you?
Yeah.
Do you I know you? You know, you can't just say hi to somebody without them saying, are you on drugs? Mais tu prends du Prozac ou quoi? Like, you know, and you're like, no, it's a beautiful day, I want to say hi, you know? And
Yes.
and that, oh my God, it's too hot. Oh my God, it's too cold. I wish it were summer. Oh, I wish it were winter.
That's
that
it.
went away
That's right.
for a very short period of time. And I'm wondering, once you start feeling like you don't have, you start seeing actually what you do have.
That's right.
It's an opportunity to see that, and I hoped as a whole the whole community would go, wow,
Yeah.
we live in a beautiful place.
But don't you think it's on the verge? Everybody talks about it's going to be the new 1920s, right? So you relaunched the 1940s. Why not?
Why not?
Cabaret, supper club, you know, the performance on stage, which were great as well. So I feel personally that it's going to be back in a big way.
I think
and
so.
in a more elegant way, maybe, and in a more precise way.
Well, here's to you. Here's to
Well.
here's to that happening.
So, talking about bubbles, you love bubbles, I know that.
That sounds
And this is the sound of Crystal. You see, she has a great ear. She can hear even. Is it singing to you as well?
They can buy these, can't they?
Oh,
they can take these home.
absolutely.
Take these home. They're amazing. Take these home. You know, there's a code somewhere, right? They can-
Absolutely. There's a code everywhere. So, and a dress code, apparently, at the supper club.
This is yours.
This is ours. This is 69. This is a Pinot Noir from Burgundy made in a méthode champenoise. So, what does that make you think? And if a song would be inspired by this wine, which one would that be?
If a song were to be inspired by this wine,
Besides La Vie en Rose, of course.
besides La Vie en Rose.
Well, you could go La Vie en Rose if you wish.
Okay. Quand il me prend dans ses bras, il me parle tout bas, je vois la vie en rose. Il me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours, et ça me fait quelque chose.
I know we all want to get up and dance. I guess we're going to be dancing all evening together.
Why not?
We're going to do
Oh,
La Vie
yes.
en Rose. We're going to be in the egg. We're going to protect ourselves from Dylan and his camera, and we'll be romantically dancing. La vie en rose. So, coming back to the Supper Club. So you did it as a pop-up. Tell us about that and how original it is, and where does it travel to or pop up to?
So, at the moment I was touring and couldn't be physically in a place to start a business. So what I decided is I could still tour and I could still do these events. So what it meant was a monthly social club where people would purchase tickets either for the season or for the month, depending on the theme, because we did like Havana After Dark. We did a Havana in the 1950s, and 356 people came dressed with their hats and their linens, and it was fantastic.
I could see that. So fun.
Yeah, with the salsa band, it was great, and the ladies dancing. You know, there were always dancers, and I hired dancers like in the 40s, and they were 10 cents a dance. Only one person paid the entire season, one person, and it was because of the song from the 20s, 10 cents a dance. So I'd say if you came to the supper club, you always had a friend, or somebody to dance with. So I hired dancers, and so everyone had a partner, and so it was basically a week of setup to set it up, and we had to tear down the next day. It was really difficult to
but
make
so
this
cool.
all pop up.
Maybe what we ought to do as the world reopens, we should have your group come to the Raymond Winery, which is one of the largest of ours here in Napa Valley, and we should organize a big event like that. Maybe it's Havana, maybe it's another theme.
Well, that would be wonderful.
What other themes did you do as well besides Havana?
We did Paris After Dark, New York After Dark. We did Speakeasy Christmas, all 1920s Christmas.
Love that.
With 3 female singers.
Yes. One of them was you.
One of them was me. The first one was just the Sacha Supper Club, and I hired Eileen from the Thievery Corporation from Washington, D.C., and she came over and she sang. So there was always Jonathan Courant came from Las Vegas and sang. There was always a theme. There was vintage Vegas. That was fun.
Yes.
And there were 4 guys singing.
Love it.
You know, like one was Elvis, one was Sinatra, one was just different. Lou Rawls music. I mean, it can be anything. Any of those 1960s, like get dressed up, have some good cocktails and something to eat.
And aren't we all looking for themes anyhow? To get back into a time, an era, whether from the past or the future. Future, the one we may want to imagine. And really live those moments and enjoy the people and party within that context. I think it's very, very more than ever opportune now. So you're going to start again now that this pandemic hopefully is easing?
Yes, I think I'm going to start, as you're saying, something in the future of what we have now to work with in the positive moments of creating new
So
themes.
what would be your new creation?
Maybe,
give us a little hint.
Well, maybe we can do, bring the vintage into your future here with these beautiful wines.
That's a great idea.
And create... as you create, as I walked into your showroom or your tasting room here, there's so many beautiful things. It makes beauty, creating beauty, really.
That's right.
In the modern world. I think that's what you do.
I love to do this.
And
I love to try to do this.
I think that's a great thing, is to create beauty with what we have to work with now.
Yes.
Bringing some of that nostalgia forward here.
Yeah. Bring the nostalgia forward. So what would be your favorite theme? If you had to choose one and do it in Napa Valley for harvest, what would that be?
When is harvest? At the end of August?
Yeah, at the end of August, September.
And the wines are from California and from Europe?
That would be just California.
Just California wine? Maybe we can do a California melody of a great American songbook.
Ooh.
Paired with each serving of whatever taste we have.
I like that a lot.
Something Cole Porter.
Yes.
Something Irving Berlin.
Love it.
Whatever the character of the wine is, we would pair it to the music.
Let's pair it. Let's do it. Well, let's try the other one. So purposely for you, a wine from Burgundy now. Again, the sounds. Another inspiration, we went to the heart of the world, the heart of Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, Burgundy Chardonnay.
That's where you're from.
For you, absolutely. Born and raised in a tiny little village named Bouachon.
How far is that away from Abzac? Is that next door or Saint-Emilion region?
No, it's in the center east of France, next to Dijon.
Oh.
So literally 2 hours from Paris, but 5 hours from that town.
Okay.
We're on the opposite side.
Dijon. I've been
Dijon. You're going to come and sing.
there. I'd love to.
So what does this wine inspire you as you taste it?
This wine.
Maybe you want to do some notes for us. Ah, ah.
Did you just sing the Little Mermaid?
Yes. How did you guess? Thank you for once. Someone is guessing what I'm trying to. I know my daughters are watching and they're making fun of me because every time I sing, the glasses break or the chandelier falls. So
Can you
it's
imagine?
about time I need to take classes.
Your daughters probably just adore you.
Well,
You must be the funnest thing ever.
well, you'll see. You know, adoration has different tones depending on the week, depending on the month, depending on the attitudes.
I think this is a Cole Porter.
Let's do
This
it.
is a strange dear, but true dear. When I'm close to you, dear, the stars fill the sky. So in love with you am I.
I think we have a new phenomenal tasting program, dear friends. We're going to have Sacha paired every wine a Franco-American theme, and we each going to sing after each one we're going to taste.
Why not?
Well, this is fun because music. Do you realize we have a tasting that I'd love for you to do that is actually extremely powerful? Why? The music you played and you taste the wine, same wine, 5 different music. So you would assume Pinot Noir, you may want Beethoven, Mozart, but we've introduced Elvis Presley, we've introduced Lady Gaga, we've introduced maybe, Frank Sinatra. And you would think, oh, I want to have Frank Sinatra, but what tastes the best with that Pinot is often the unexpected. We think music changes your taste. Do you believe in that?
I do believe that could actually happen.
And how does that happen for you?
The vibration of what you're actually intaking is affecting your thoughts.
Interesting, yeah.
So even the ringing of the glasses creates some kind of harmony inside of you, like within those megahertz that you hear. I think that's probably why you chose certain glasses to ring in a certain way through the crystal.
That's it. And through the intensity of the crystal, the thickness, at different parts of this glass, we want it to generate different sounds. As a matter of fact, and you're the first one, frankly, who is noticing this.
It sounds very Tibetan to me.
It's very healing, isn't it?
Yes.
It's
It sounds crystal healing.
Yeah. Do you believe in crystal healing?
Yeah, I believe in vibrations. So everyone vibrates differently. Like you're vibrating like really high.
I'm vibrating
You
high.
can feel you when you're walking in because it's happy, it's joyful.
I'm bringing the energy up.
Yes.
Well, you are doing the same.
It's like just even not even saying hi, just smiling to somebody, you are lifting.
Yes.
And I feel that's what you do with your wine and with the sounds that you create surrounding. And when we worked together on your sensory tour,
yes,
everything you did had a specific meaning. Every sense. It wasn't just let's taste some wine.
That's right.
I'd like you to hear. I'd like you to focus on the feeling of the sound and before tasting.
Yes.
Everything you prepared the guest for.
That's right.
So by the time they tasted it, they had already visualized it, felt it, and really tasted it almost before they tasted it.
And that's our dream. We want to make sure people, besides just taking in, really understand the sensory around wine and the culture of wine. Similar to a great performer as you are, from the attire, the clothes, the visual, the intensity, the movement, then we get there and then you start. You see, and I think as you very, very nicely notice for wine, we feel it's very important as well. Now, talking about an amazing thing you've done, tell us about this piece, phenomenal wall you've designed that was so awarded and recognized by so many.
Well, there's about 24 to 27,000 people that cross daily at the border between Mexico and Tijuana.
Yeah.
And so one day we went and we took the footprints of people crossing on both sides.
Very cool.
And we stenciled them out. We put their name on them. And what happens there is there's a central drop-off point where they get picked up by the train, the trolley, the bus, car, one point for all these people crossing.
I see.
And there's 2 benches for them to sit down.
Huh.
And they're workers, a lot of worker people.
Mm-hmm.
And they standing in the sun. And my grandfather used to cross right there.
Really?
And whenever he was there, I would notice that he would go around to all the people. He was a magnificent gentleman, my grandfather. And my grandma would come to pick him up when he came. He went to the sports book in Tijuana to bet on his horses and hang out with his friends.
Mm-hmm.
And when he would come back, I'd see him tipping his hat, say hello to everybody. And I saw that people were like kind of weary and worn because they were working.
Yes.
So he'd go around saying hello to all of them.
That's magnificent.
And he'd sing and just making people happy. So at this particular wall, I joined the Border Public Art Committee, and I asked, can I transform the wall? Can we put more seats there? Can
Very
we
cool.
create a place where while people are waiting, they don't have to wait like this, with working hard and living that way? Can we cheer it up for them?
That's right. And bring happiness to this entire,
Yes.
Emotional, difficult time, anyhow, to wait right there.
So the wall is called A Place Where Souls Meet, SOLES. And it's got all the souls of the people that crossed that one day in a form of a bridge like this, one coming from Mexico and one coming from the US, meeting in the middle where it says A Place Where Souls Meet. And we put benches there, so instead of 4 people sitting down, 40 people could sit down.
That's great.
So,
and is there music now? Did you introduce your beautiful voice to all those people?
we did go there and we did play and we did some music, and then I moved to Paris, so we were trying to do some different events right there, some concerts and different things, so it brings some life to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Point in between points, And also it was for me to show that there are no boundaries between people.
Mm-hmm.
That love is something that is always constant and ever flowing.
That's
and
right.
that there isn't a wall that divides me or you, no matter where we come from or who we are, what we believe, that we are together.
That's right. Yeah, and I don't you believe the 21st century that we're moving into will even be stronger now in that philosophy than ever before.
Absolutely.
I think we want unity. We want all that.
Yes, everywhere. I think that would be amazing. If people start to rise together, we can rise everyone.
For sure. What about the Middle East? Because obviously you spent some time in Lebanon.
You know that I've never been to Lebanon.
Oh, okay.
I've
So
not.
just
I have family
descend
there.
from.
Yes, but I have all my family there, cousins. I keep in touch with them. I talk to them. And I waited for my father to take me there. And then once I was a teenager, I got really busy, and my dad decided he never wanted to go back after living through the wars. And he said, I'm American, and I'm very happy here. And he integrated
That's the dream
into
place
the
to
culture.
be.
Yeah.
So what inspires you? You have so many great ideas. You're doing so many phenomenal things, from singing to art to design to events, bring people together. What inspires you? What drives you to be this incredible Sacha?
I think my faith in my family. My family has created such a beautiful feeling of connection.
Yes.
Whenever we're together, that I kind of just assumed every family was like that.
Yes.
And they always got together and just had a ball in whatever circumstance they were in. And I realized that not everybody has that. And I wanted to take that love of gathering from both sides of my family that created community.
For sure.
And create community wherever I am. So it's not really about me or the song. It's about bringing people together with the talent. Mm-hmm. The talent is secondary.
Are you the sole child?
Yes.
Aha. Did you miss not having a brother and a sister? Or you had a lot of friends around to play with?
I think that I really miss not having somebody, and I became very creative in my mind, always doing things and trying things, which is probably why I drove my parents crazy, saying, I'm going to go on the guys' baseball team this week, and I did. And they had to change the laws in San Diego for me to try out.
Really?
I contested them, yeah. So now girls could play baseball after that, but it's always doing something, pushing the limits.
Yeah, but I could see that, and you do it as well in your community service. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Because you do a lot of things for others, besides your businesses, besides your genuine performing talents and all that, you do a lot of things for the community. Explain everyone all the great things you do.
Well,
because it will inspire all of us, because as you said, it's all about sharing energy, sharing talent, sharing music, bringing people together.
I think that actually the service, living a life of service, comes from my grandmother, who she founded the largest free healthcare clinic in California.
Free?
Yeah.
Wow.
The San Ysidro Health Clinic, actually.
Congratulations.
And she did it in her spare time when she wasn't in between cooking breakfast and making dinner for her family while the kids were at school. She had a few hours. She got together 6 women and found a need in the community to give back with the few hours that she had free on certain days. And so she kind of instilled in all of us that living that life of service is just kind of paying it forward.
For sure.
So I do my best to follow in her footsteps, and I feel like I always fall short, but I do my best.
Well, you do a lot, and
So.
you know what she did was amazing, but what you're doing is fantastic too. What do you think, where are the big areas that you'd like to see, you know, between all that phenomenal cultural background you have, not just in California, but in general in the world as far as happening? You said unity, love, of course, but what else?
What I'd like to see? I'd like to see women have a strong footing in a healthy way without putting the blame on society for what's happening, and just to rise the way they continue to rising, and but also in the Middle East, for those, or even India, you know, and different places around the globe where I feel like
So how
the
can
voice
we-
is silenced.
That's right. So how can we all make a difference on that? What's your suggestion? What's the path forward?
I'm not sure. I asked myself that question, what can I do? And the only thing I could come up with is be the best me and keep passing it on, hoping that it makes a difference to one person. Because I can't change the world.
Yeah.
I'm learning I can't change the world.
Yeah, but you greatly influence it.
I don't know. I'm just one person.
Well, but don't you think one leader, as you are, with all the talents you have, can help turn heads in that direction?
Maybe. I haven't figured that part out yet. I'm just really happy when I feed a homeless person and they say thank you, and I realize the gift is for me and not really for them. I'm the one that's lucky to be there.
That's very true.
So,
And to be the person feeding rather than being fed.
I don't know. I think there's some gift in the service that like humbles you in a way that then you're like, wow, why was I complaining about that stuff the other day? I don't understand. You know, there's so much going on, and I feel like there's always somebody suffering, and there's somebody greater, there's somebody lesser, and I think that I can't solve everybody's problems, but I try to be the best me and keep passing it forward.
That's right. Don't you feel, on that note, that women's evolution have been fantastic?
Yes.
Over the last decades, I mean, what a level of leadership. To the point of the United States, look, a new lady vice president.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And seeing all the pictures of the little girls watching that, I mean,
Yes.
that wouldn't have happened when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, in France, it did, as you know. Simone Veil and all that era
Yes,
of a
and
lot
Edith
of...
Cresson.
That's right. A lot of
Who I-
women in the
who I know.
70s. Yes, great lady, right? I mean, a lot of very powerful women in Europe, as we've seen in Ireland, or Scotland, or Denmark, or
wonderful.
Holland, or Sweden, for that matter. But in the United States, I think it's a big deal.
It is.
What do you think it is gonna have as an impact over the next, decade?
I think it's going to shift the preset of the mind that there's a barrier. There's no barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Watching that as a child, watching
Yes.
that as a teenager, even me watching that now, there isn't any reason that we can't keep going and do more.
Yes.
And before, I think women complain a lot about it, and I'm one of those who would say, I can't get there, like my business, for example, is 95% men. And I was complaining all the time, and I realized there isn't any reason to do that anymore, because it doesn't serve any of us in any way, or to put the blame on anyone, because anything is really possible.
That's right.
And you might have to work harder, but that's just the way it is. We can do it.
I will toast to this one. So let's finish that glass. I know we can. To turn the page on another topic,
It keeps going.
which is your latest album. So For that, we selected a one named Dedication, because I know you dedicated in many ways.
I wrote a song called Dedication.
That's right. So tell us about this new album, and maybe you sing about dedication. Why not?
So the new album is called Grandiose.
Grandiose.
And it's all the music of Michel Legrand with some very renowned pianists in Paris, all over France, and an all-star team. It's an all-French cast, and I'm really excited about it because it's on a new label, my label, Hear Me Roar, with Jazz and People, which is a very nice Parisian-based label. And what's going to be amazing about this project is it's a double release. So we'll be releasing all of the music of Legrand in French and English, and I'll be doing the first ever album of lyrics that I started writing of Legrand music in Spanish.
Oh!
For the Latin community. So we'll have,
Is it your first time?
It'll be my
that
first
you will
actually
release as such?
all Spanish release too.
That's amazing. I'm so excited.
And no one's really done an entire album of Legrand in Spanish.
I cannot even think
So
of
you
it.
have the round like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel. All those beautiful
I love this song.
melodies of what is, for me, that's the French songbook. Mm-hmm. That is what is France. That's the beautiful. Those go with your wines.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
Well, so what is this wine making you think? If that was, it's called Dedication. Dear friends, it's a Chateauneuf-du-Pape. So we went to the Rhone Valley. We're in the southern Rhone, where the city of the Pope, where the Pope came for a few, almost a century, to that part of France. Chateauneuf-du-Pape.
That's nice.
I cannot wait to see what Sacha is going to come up with as a thought, as a song.
To you I dedicate, for you my life can't wait, to begin a life that's full of love. My heart is for you. And now is the time to live, two hearts in perfect rhyme. Can't remember the rest of the lyrics.
Oh, I doubt that.
I hadn't sang it in 20 years.
This is amazing. Congratulations. So, what is your dream?
My dream. It hasn't come true yet, but it's coming true slowly. My dream is to make more records, to continue to have this small label, but that it grows and that I'm able to find artistic talent that I believe are like diamonds in the rough and help them shine. And for me to do that, I have to get to a certain place of success, I think, to be able to give back. So I haven't gotten there yet, but I believe that I will.
Very exciting. It's on its way. Did you like that?
Yeah, can you sing some more? Can you sing in French?
I know what my daughters are chatting about. Stop, Papa, stop. It's
what are their names?
Terrible. Honoré Joséphine and Grâce Antoinette. Because we honored by the grace of our two queens. Marie Antoinette and Joséphine from the Napoleon era. So,
Oh, I can't wait to meet them.
Yeah. So, Sacha, what else do you want to share to the world from a creative standpoint that would engage our friends to themselves feel comfortable to create? Because you literally are creating spirits, from your athletic backgrounds to your singing to your writing to your artistic paintings and all that, to all what you're doing.
You knew I painted?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So what do you recommend to people to really develop that side of their brain and to allow themselves to go for it?
Wow, great question. I believe that everyone has a gift.
Yes.
And they should share that gift. Shouldn't keep it inside. Share it and be kind to others.
Yes.
And sometimes people come and they say, well, I want to sing, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I feel, I can't, I'm not. And for me, just do it and sing out, and who cares what you sound like, or paint, or do whatever you do, and enjoy that journey of giving giving to yourself, giving to others, and connecting, because that's really, I think it's all about connecting.
Yes.
We just use our talents, don't we, to connect?
For sure. But how, you know, your path is phenomenal, and you've overcome it. How do you recommend? A lot of our friends who are with us tonight, many I know, are saying, I want to be her, I want to do this, but they don't know how to start, or they're very too shy to be audacious enough to go for it. Or, you know, people sometimes as well don't want to be so vulnerable and appear not exactly in their appearance as we judge them. So what is, you know, because you jumped and you did it, and you said to that wonderful Italiano, I'm going to be performing, I have a band, and I'm coming.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. So there's a quote that I love in a Joseph Campbell book.
Okay.
And whenever I get kind of trepidatious about doing something, I think about this quote. And it says, when coming to a great chasm in life, jump. The gap is not as wide as you think.
Very well said. Very wise. Now, last question, because then we want to conclude with a beautiful song. And I know dedication is helping to do this. If there's something you haven't done yet, besides your dream, different than your dream that you wish to accomplish in your life, what would that be?
Oh.
Besides the many records you're doing already.
I've been thinking about that a lot lately. I think that is to have a family. To be married to an elevated gentleman and have children. At least one. Poor kid if it's just one, but at least one. And to create a family, to create that community for myself.
I see. Wonderful. Well, that's a beautiful, achievable objective. And I know from I saw that night when we were together, they're all lining up. So the matter is to select the right one.
No, they were lining up to talk to you. There was a line
they
just
were
waiting
for
to say
you.
hi.
They were for you. So as we are this amazing Friday night and the vaccine is progressing, people are becoming more joyful, we need to have you perform some things so people starts the weekend tonight in a great way. So what, as we have to say goodbye to all our friends from all around the world, what would you like to sing?
What would I like to sing?
The goodbye tonight.
Well, you have a piano over there.
Yes.
I'm a horrible pianist, but I'd play an original and sing it for you.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Woohoo! We going to the piano.
I think I'll just have another sip of this.
Yeah, well, let's take it next to us.
And I put it
Wherever you want.
John Legend's on the piano.
John Legend is always in the piano as well.
He played here.
John is always watching. You know, we have a venture with John where we make a great one named LVE, which stands for Legend Vineyard Exclusive. So he comes here on a regular basis, and this is the piano he plays with. So, you know,
it's legendary.
It's you said it.
So I wrote this song thinking about people that haven't met their significant other.
Mm-hmm.
And in my spiritual journey, I'm realizing more and more you've got to be what you want to attract. So I'd written this as a poem in like Edwardian English, and then I had to change the ETHs, like F at the ends of everything, to bring it into music. And so I'll do a short version of it. But this is
loving it
for the people that are still searching for that other person. Ooh, I'm so nervous.
I cannot believe you're nervous ever.
Have you thought of me, for I have thought of you. I have seen you amidst the gentle blossoms of the night, and in the incandescence of the moon. Yes, I have thought of you. I have seen your spirit among the rain that falls on the hot earth, solitary dancing a Roomba for none to see but I. And I have yet to meet. We have yet to meet.
Beautiful! Bravo! Dear friends, wasn't it amazing tonight? We wish you an incredible weekend. Again, the legendary, the famous, the fabulous, the inspiring Sacha Boutros.